Hey, alright, welcome back everyone. It's the end of the year. Today is New Year's Eve of 2021, and I don't know what 2022 is going to do any differently, but there's some video games to talk about. I hope everyone had a great holiday and got all your video game stuff that you wanted this year, although I know that's not really possible because PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's and even Switches, not a guarantee that you'll find one if you were looking for one. But I'm sorry I made everyone sad. Let's talk about Okamiden. Okamiden, the only DS game that I got this month. We did a big, old stock wholesale order again at work. It was great. It's always fun. It's a fun day when that order comes in, and it's fun to go and look at the stuff that we can get. And I pulled the trigger on getting Okamiden. It wasn't cheap even from the wholesaler because, as you can imagine, this is pretty well regarded as a hidden gem, but I just never see it, and that's why we'll pay to get it in the store. And I said, I want one for myself. I'm gonna open it right when I get it so that I might play it someday. So it's here. It's Okamiden, and there's a couple other games that you're gonna see throughout this. It'll be mostly games that I didn't buy anything else for the system that they're on. It's probably because I got them from that order. So Okamiden, big hidden gem. Not even a hidden gem, because Okami's not obscure or anything at this point. It's just mostly that people don't realize that there's a DS game that goes with it. Alright. And yeah, I opened all these right away, too, because I'm not going to fucking sit on them. I'm not doing that. Atooi Collection, Gesundheit. One of the only games that Limited Run has ever put on 3DS. I think there's one or two more, but mostly you got this right here. And what this basically is, it's very similar to a really awesome thing that I got for Switch, the Pigeon Dev Games Collection. It's a bunch of small, retro-inspired games. The two biggest ones here are Mutant Mudds. This is Mutant Mudds Deluxe, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, the two games that you see on the Mutant Mudds collection when you see any other printing that gets. And Zeo Drifter, which is a Metroidvania that I've seen with a Switch printing as well. There's also Bomb Monkey and Chicken Wiggle, which I'm not all that familiar with, but Mutant Mudds is a game basically that goes on sale on the eShop or PlayStation Store for $2, and I've picked it up through that, and I'm it's not quite Shantae, but I see it all the time. Get those limited run printings or super rare games printings or the one-off printings or 5 off at this point, and I'm not paying for that physical, even though it's a good game that looks really cool. But having it on this collection with a bunch of other stuff was easier to swallow. I'm glad that I have this with a bunch of cool, cute, fun little retro style games. I'm gonna leave the Switch stuff off till the end. It's definitely the biggest stack this month, which is good because a lot of stuff that I was really waiting on either came out or I got to grab it. But while I'm still waiting on the Geo Pocket Collection, because I got the collector's edition on the way, I don't know when it's coming. I don't know. I am so frustrated. But I did get a Geo Pocket game that's not on that collection when it comes. It's the Pocket Tennis Color. It's a very Mario Tennis style little tennis game. Not too expensive for a Geo Pocket game, but good stuff. It goes well with the fact that I bought Neo Turf Masters, which is on that collection. Or on Volume 1. I'll bet you if they do a Volume 2, which I'm not sure that they will, but Volume 2 will have probably Pocket Tennis as the one sports game, I bet. Either that, I think there's a Super Sidekicks, or some it's Neo Geo World Cup '98 is what it's called, something along those lines. It'll either have Pocket Tennis or it'll have that, I bet, if they do one. Another one-off Half-Minute Hero for the PSP. Cool little Xseed published sort of a minigame RPG. Very very weird stuff. If you look on the back, it'll tell you all the different breakdown aspects of the game. Fast action RPG, blazing shooter, swift escort missions, quick-witted strategy. So it's a little bit of all that stuff broken into bite-sized chunks. It's a weird, obscure little game that I'm glad that I picked up. And I got a Super Nintendo game here. This is actually a little bit of a preview of what I'll probably have some stuff for next month, because I got this little inkling the other day that I wanted to grab more pinball stuff. I realized that I like pinball, and that I'd like to do streams of some of the pinball games that I have in their various incarnations. Both of real pinball games that are recreations of actual tables, like Pinball Arcade, and of video game centric ones where they do stuff that you can't really do, or they just make up a table and they throw it on a cartridge. So Pinball Fantasies, this little complete in box right here. I was surprised that we still had this after so long, because I remember this coming in like year and a half ago, and I thought about it, and I've never seen this, and I've maybe seen Pinball Dreams, which is the first one of this for the Super Nintendo. I've maybe seen it once, but it's not too expensive. I just never see it. But since this is the only time I've ever seen this game, I just did end up picking it up in the box here. This has 4 tables. It's published by GameTech, who mostly you might recognize from Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and stuff. But they tried other stuff. They did these 2 pinball games. Let's grab some PlayStation stuff. One PS3 game, Motorstorm Apocalypse. This is a PAL copy, but there's three Motorstorm games for the PS3, and it sucks that now they've kind of abandoned 2 separate like off-road arcadey racing games that the Sony's franchises like have come up with, because this is sort of like they took ATV Off-Road Fury, which is a bargain bin game that nobody really pays attention to at this point, but it is actually very well made, and it has its fans. And then they did 3 Motorstorm games on the PS3, and there's also 1 spin-off for PS2 PSP, which I do have that one. And they're good games with cool attitude and good style, and they're arcadey. It's just weird that they've ditched this too, like they don't pay attention to this. So Apocalypse is the 3rd PS3 game, and I didn't have it yet. I made a point to pick it up. Since there's only 1 of these, it's been a while since I picked up any PS5 games here, but I did a launch title for it because this game has gotten super cheap super fast, but I think I will like it if I actually play it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Probably getting about as far away from actual Assassin's Creed as you can get from what I've seen over the past couple games that they've done, which have been the most interesting looking ones to me. And Valhalla being Norse Viking stuff, definitely up my alley. I will give this a shot, but I mostly just bought this because I was like, I haven't used my PS5. I haven't been playing it. The freebies haven't been that great for me. The one that's coming in January is still not going to be. I just it's like $15. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab this, and maybe I'll try it soon. I don't know, but I knew I did want to pick this up though because of the Viking stuff. It's just like PS5 is not catching my interest in anything right now. And I got a couple of PS4 games here. So actually, this right here, another game that we'll get to for the Switch stuff, and this is also part of the order that I did too. But this is Doom 3 VR Edition, which happens to be a GameStop exclusive. And I got this by doing a GameStop order, which I hadn't done in like almost 2 years at this point. I think the last time I bought anything from GameStop was actually my Switch Lite, my Sword and Shield Switch Lite that I use all the time. But Doom 3 VR Edition went on sale from them for like $5, and I didn't even know it existed until I saw the post from Cheap Ass Gamer about the sale, and I was like, yes, I want that. Like, absolutely. It's Doom, it's VR, it's Doom 3, which is a game that I've never played through because of the style of game it is compared to the other Dooms, but I think that there's a resurging like appreciation for Doom 3 for how different it is. And so a VR edition of that game I'll be totally into if I get the energy up to do VR stuff. But yeah, I did have to order it from GameStop. And it's mostly just sucks that I have to order stuff from GameStop because shit, they're getting exclusive games that I actually want. And I think you don't even have to buy this physical. I think it's $10 at the most to buy the digital version of it. It's not expensive. So if anybody does want to buy this, like, you can just go on the PlayStation Store and buy it this way. But yeah, absolutely something I wanted on physical. For $5, I was like, oh my god, like I couldn't order it fast enough. But I added other stuff into the order to get free shipping and things. Other stuff like Gran Turismo Sport, which again I only did for VR stuff. I'm interested in getting these VR games so that I have access to them. If that fad ever dies, or if they really do move on from the PlayStation VR for the PS4, like, there's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to be worried I'm not going to be able to get anymore. So even if I don't use it a lot right now, I really like the system and I want to have these games. So Gran Turismo Sport, which is not exclusively a VR game and not something that I would miss out on, but sort of wow, they really dropped the ball on doing Gran Turismo on the PS4, huh? That's really the only interest I have in it, is the fact that it has VR, because I've never been a huge player of Gran Turismo. I acknowledge that they're good, but it's not my type of driving game usually. But we'll see. We will see if the VR makes it a little bit more interesting to play. And then we have Deracine from Software. Another VR. Like, these are all VR games, actually. The only PS4 ones I bought this month were for the VR. Deracine, which is a first person, as you might imagine, in VR. Like, sort of creepy adventure, whatever's going on. I thought it looked interesting, and it's from Software, but it's not a Souls game, and it's not, like, murderously difficult, so it has my interest for sure. And then lastly, again, only for the VR, because I don't really pay attention much to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Iron Man VR looks like it would be pretty cool, and it was like $10, I think. It's not expensive. It came in as a pack-in title for a lot of VR sets, and I feel like it gets passed up a lot. Like, there's other people like me who would buy the set and have that come as a pack-in and don't really pay attention to it. But now I do want to have it, though. One PS2 game, it's just Mafia. I have to play one of these games at some point. I have all three of them now. You get this one. I know this one has like really bad load times. It's not a great port of Mafia 1, but just to have it. The one that actually is the most interesting to me is probably Mafia 3 because of it's like set in like Louisiana. Looks pretty cool. But anyway, it's just Mafia. Nothing special. Weird pair of games here for the original Xbox. It's both Nightcaster games. I am really, really interested in the first sort of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks period of Xbox, where they tried to nail down their exclusives. Because Nightcaster, the first one here, Nightcaster, was one of those games. It's sort of a fantasy adventure game, 3D exploration stuff. Didn't really take. It's got mediocre reviews at best. And that's why you can still get it pretty cheap. And then there's Nightcaster II, and Microsoft didn't publish this. Jalico picked this up. I'm using the camera to figure out what I'm pointing at. Jalico picked this up and published another one. And I think I never see this one usually like come in work or anything, but you can still get this for like $20 sealed. It's not expensive. And I don't think it's very good either, but it's interesting because, like I said, I just never see it. So there's a couple more original Xbox attempts at franchises that I've seen all the time and I've never really picked up on, and I'm kind of interested in it just for that, like what you do when you're trying to get a brand going for video games. And one PC game here, I have Age of Empires Collector's Edition. This is really, really great because in one fell swoop I've got the first Age of Empires and its expansion, what's it called, Rise of Rome, and Age of Empires 2, and the Conqueror's expansion. Age of Empires 2 is all-time classic. It's on one disc. Nothing like fancy packaging or anything like that, but it's good to have a disc of this. Now I've got all three Age of Empires ready to go on this computer if I ever bother to use it. And lastly, there's some Switch games here. Let's start at the bottom. This month's, or this period's, quarters, whatever you want to call it, offering from Video Games New York Software, Okinawa Rush. This is as you might imagine, it's a retro-style 2D platformer. Looks a lot like Ninja Gaiden to me. As I've mentioned before, I'm getting every single one of these releases, whether it's a game I'm really interested in or not. This does look like a cool game, but I wasn't like crazy excited for it, and I haven't played it yet. But I am really excited for the next one, which is going to be Earth Atlantis, which is an awesome game, visually like one of the coolest games I've seen. So that'll be fun. Next, Carrion. Carrion, this is the joint, Special Reserve didn't do anything with this. This is Devolver doing physicals. Carrion is a reverse horror movie, sort of like if if you were the alien from Alien rather than Ellen Ripley or anybody like that, if you were playing Alien Isolation, it's this like tendril, like hulking massive flesh being, again, a 2D like retro looking platforming adventure, but like I said, the opposite, because you're the alien stalking these people on this spaceship. It's really cool. Excited to get my teeth into that. This was actually the only game that I received as a Christmas present, because I tell people don't buy me games for Christmas presents. It's not an easy. I'm not an easy person to shop for games. I know that, and I acknowledge that, and that's why I tell people. This is one of the only cases. My boss got me this Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, because Koei keeps really dropping the ball with getting the United States or North America a physical of a game that we clearly very much want. This was, as you might know, originally a Wii U exclusive that we didn't get a physical of over here, so you had to pay like $50 for a digital full-size game. So it feels like, based on that, like they didn't think we wanted Fatal Frame, and we do. We clearly do. Just like, let us buy something though. Like, let us buy this. And then they said they were porting Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater to the Switch. Yay! Can we get a physical of it now? Not in North America. You can't. It's specifically North America. We're not getting physicals. So this was. He ordered this online for me. You can get it from PlayAsia, or you can actually get it from Video Games New York Software's website. They have import copies of it. I don't... this is... either Japan or China release. But you can get full English on it. I actually don't know if I'm going to open this, because I'd already... I do have the Fatal Frame on my Wii U. And... I don't know if there's much like improvement of this, or if this is just a port. So one of the few games I have like not opened as soon as I got it, because I don't know if I need to, but I would have bought this immediately if we got this over here. Alright, that's Fatal Frame. The other Star Wars 2-pack that was released. This is Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy. The two Kyle Katarn. I need to play more. I really need to get into these, because I played a little bit of Dark Forces, and I haven't played like anything else in this series, even though I've owned these games. But there's first-person shooting, and there's some lightsabers. I think the second one has more lightsaber stuff in it, from what I've seen. But I think this also has the multiplayer. Does it? Yeah, this has actually the online multiplayer too. They actually brought that back, which is awesome. Because I know they didn't do that for Republic Commando, but they did do it for this, which is fantastic. I also think you can get each of these games individually digital for like $10. So the great deal that Quake is with all the content for that, $10 is not a bad deal for this, considering they did put in the multiplayer. $10 each game. Oh, this is a really weird game. This is the other GameStop exclusive I was talking about. This is called Chicken Police, painted red. And that sounds dumb. And the first word being chicken, you might think that this is associated with those complete trash shovelware games like Chicken Shoot and Crazy Chicken and stuff like that. Nope, this is a noir detective adventure game with really dark themes and really awkwardly realistic animals, but like take away the fact that they're animals and you immediately have like what seems like a really serious and really well written detective drama. I'm super interested in this. Like, it's straight up visual novel with like really good writing, but they're animals. This is just for furries, but I'm also gonna take an interest. Huntdown. This game looks awesome. I just got this the other day. I opened it to see the little pins. It's got pins in it, and a manual, which is great. Huntdown. This is a retro 2D shooter that looks a little bit like Contra, and it reminds me of another game that I have on the Switch called Black Future 88. And watching some of the gameplay on it, because I wasn't 100% sold on it, but I did watch the trailer, and the voiceover in the trailer was really great and really tongue-in-cheek, and it really sold me on the game a lot. And I wasn't going to go pull the trigger on it because I had all this other shit. And then I watched Matt McMuscles play some of it. And him just like playing the game, I was like, oh man, this This looks great. There's got a little bit of Blackthorn in there too, like the 2D shooter with the cover mechanics where you duck into the background. Actually, really excited to pop this in and play it because it looks awesome and badass. Go watch the trailer for this. It will sell you on this game for sure. Oh, these guys also. I think it's Clear River. I think it's this publisher here. They have another game coming out that is also a 2-pack of retro style platformer adventures that I'm really looking more into, called All Was Collection. So keep an eye out for that if you like those games too, because I am for sure. G-Darius HD, or if you're Australian, G-Darius. G-Darius, mate, as it says there. That was stupid, but it's a joke I keep making. IN, these guys. There. Continue publishing old Taito stuff, old shooter stuff. Cool little packages. And this is one of the more like robust, like full style Darius games. So I have two Darius things. I think. Yeah, I think I've already got 2 Darius games for the Switch, and it's so hard to keep track of them because some of them have games in a collection that other games have. It's so weird. But I double checked and I didn't have this, and this went on sale. Oh, this Huntdown is like $28 on Amazon, just so you know. Chicken Police is the GameStop exclusive. I paid $16 for that. And G-Darius, I also paid $16 for this on Amazon. I don't know if it's still at that price, but those 3 games, price, huge factor in all those games as well. And with this one too. So yeah, just adding more shooters to the collection, more or less. G-Darius is supposed to be a very good game. G-Darius HD. And then lastly, again, this went on sale at Best Buy for like $15, and this is a game I didn't even know had come out or was going to come out or anything. But Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. I liked Big Brain Academy when I was younger. I should get the Wii version because it's still super cheap, and it's very much like this. I haven't opened this yet, though. I thought I was going to pop it right in, but I was like, oh, I don't want to do math tests when I get home from work. So that's the thing keeping me from opening this and playing it, but it's $30 at regular retail, and it went on sale for $15. I was like, yes, it's a Nintendo first-party product. I'm going to grab it. But you might also want to grab it at $30 even, because if you like Big Brain Academy or if you liked Brain Age back in the day, good stuff. Good on them. Fun little package like that. And that's it. That was a lot of games this month, especially on the Switch. I don't know what's gonna happen next month. I really want to cool off. I actually really do. My camera's glitching out, so I should end. See you next year. Watch Roadsters when I stream it today.